Hey loves, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are brand new, I'm Candace and welcome to my journey. So I actually wanted to do this video. I've done a similar video a couple of years ago with my husband when we had a failed IVF cycle, and hopefully with all the changes that we've made and the change in my IVF protocol, we're hoping for IVF number 2 to have better success than IVF number 1. We actually did a complete change to our diet. We added supplements, we did acupuncture, we did all of this stuff in hopes of having a successful IVF cycle, which we did in our second IVF cycle, and we had our daughter Victory. So I wanted to actually do this video again and just make an updated version of it, because it's so hard to tell somebody, oh, go find that one video I did 2 years ago, you know. And so this video is actually going to be about IVF supplements and preparing for an IVF cycle and making sure you're taking the supplements that you need for healthy sperm and healthy egg quality. Obviously, I am not a doctor, as I have to say every time I do these types of videos, so it is always important to make sure that you are asking your doctor what is best for you. But these are the things that work for me, and of course, when things work for me, I want to share them with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy this video and learn something as well. So the first thing I want to say is it's important to try to start taking supplements as soon as possible. For us, we started around 3 months before our IVF cycle, and so from all of my research and everything I've been learning, it takes about 90 days for egg quality and for sperm to kind of like recycle and renew. So it's very important for you to take supplements as soon as possible if you can. I know sometimes you decide to do an IVF cycle like, you know, next month, and so you don't have that time frame. But when you're thinking about trying to conceive and you're thinking about doing IVF, it's important to start these supplements as soon as you can. So the first supplement that we took, my husband and I, we took calcium, magnesium, and zinc blend, which I'm learning in all of my research how important calcium, magnesium, and zinc is to those who are trying to conceive. If you have a deficiency in zinc, it can cause chromosomal issues. It can also cause hormonal issues, and so that is the first supplement that both my husband and I took. So the next supplement that we took was vitamin C, which is just important anyway for everyone. And we took 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. And vitamin C is just an antioxidant, which is just really good for you overall, but it's especially good for sperm quality and of course preventing chromosomal issues. So vitamin C is just important. I mean, there's so many different benefits to taking vitamin C if you guys want to do the research on it. But that is definitely something that we took in preparing for our IVF cycle, and we still take even now every day. The next supplement is vitamin D, and we took about 2,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. And vitamin D, obviously, of course, is another one that is just really good for you to take anyway, every day, whether you're trying to conceive or not. So we also took vitamin E. We took about 400 IUs of vitamin E a day, and vitamin E is another one that I had no idea about how it tied into fertility. I mean, I think we hear about vitamin E and we think about our skin and we think about all these other things, but vitamin E is actually really important, not only when trying to conceive, but when you're pregnant. It's important to take vitamin E supplement as well. Vitamin E is surprisingly very important for sperm health as well. And so it's amazing the things that you learn once you start researching and once you get desperate. Once you start getting desperate, you know, and wanting to know information and wanting to see what is going to help you. So vitamin E is another one that is just super important for you. So fish oil is another one. We took about 1,000 milligrams of fish oil every day, and fish oil again is just good for your hormones. And that was another one. As I was doing my research, fish oil kept coming up in all of the research that I did. The ubiquinol, this one is really tricky because in my first IVF cycle, and who knows if this is what made a difference or not, but as I said, I'm just sharing it with you guys. In my first IVF cycle, I was taking CoQ10, and then after I started doing a bunch of research and I started talking to my doctor, he actually recommended that I take the ubiquinol instead of the CoQ10. So our body automatically makes the CoQ10, and so the ubiquinol is kind of like it's like the active form of CoQ10, so it's a little bit more potent. So I was taking 400 milligrams of the ubiquinol. So ubiquinol is just really good for egg quality, sperm quality. It's really good for our cells, And as I said, our body automatically makes the CoQ10, but the ubiquinol is like a more active form of it. And so I'm not sure if that made the difference or not in the first IVF cycle and the second IVF cycle, but I did start the ubiquinol in the second cycle and not in the first one. So DHEA is something that you read about and you get like different type of opinions about it. But from me talking to my doctor and all of the things that I've read and that I felt comfortable with, DHEA is actually really good for egg quality. It's especially good for women who have diminished ovarian reserve or who are over 40. And so DHEA is something else that I added into my second IVF cycle preparation. And now I'm super bright because the sun is like doing something weird. Sorry, y'all. So DHEA is super important when you are preparing for an IVF cycle because it is going to help with the egg quality. And I really do believe that DHEA is a really important one to add to your supplement regimen when you're preparing to do an IVF cycle. So the last supplement that I took was a prenatal vitamin. And so there are so many different prenatal vitamins out there, and people always ask me which one I took. I didn't take anything special. I just took one from Sprouts, and I just liked the Sprouts one because it was vegetarian, and I liked that you only had to take it once a day. I mean, prenatals for the most part, they're always like those super big horse pills. So I mean, I feel like, some of them may make people feel a certain way, like sick or nauseous or whatever, may have different side effects. So I found with the Sprouts brand, I didn't have any issues. I just always remember to take it with food. I've never gotten sick or anything from taking it. And I took that one in preparing for my IVF cycle, during my IVF cycle, and then I took them all the way throughout my pregnancy, and even after pregnancy I took them as well. And so that's the last one on the list for the women. So the next supplements that I'm going to talk about are for the guys out there. So Tim actually took so many pills while we were preparing for our IVF cycle. I think at one point he was up to like 15 or 16 pills a day, which is crazy. But you know, as I said, we were desperate. We were willing to do whatever we needed to do. I had done all this research, and I just told Tim all the stuff I was reading about. I was like, here, take this, take this, take this too. So the first one that he took, and he's been taking for years up until recently, is Fertility. So Fertility, there are 3 different types of pills for Fertility. There's the actual just Fertility vitamin, and then there's the motility, and then there's the count boost. So he's taken that for years and years and years. And the one thing we didn't like about the Fertility was that you had to take so many pills. So for the main Fertility, there's like 3 vitamins you have to take a day. And then for the motility, you take 2. And then for the count boost, you take 2. So it's like 7 vitamins a day. And so that's one reason why he stopped taking it, and he started taking another male fertility vitamin that I will share with you guys in another video that I feel is a little bit better. So he was taking the Fertility, which just to help you know, boost the sperm count, and not only the sperm count but the quality. Obviously we were dealing with some male factor infertility, which is one of the reasons why we had to do IVF. But because we did ICSI, we weren't too worried about his sperm count. We just wanted to get the best quality sperm. So in addition to all the other vitamins that I just named, he was taking the Fertility. So in addition to that, he was taking 500 milligrams of L Arginine, which is super important for male sperm quality. And I've read tons and tons of articles about men's fertility, men's reproductive health, women's reproductive health, and so I'll link some of those down below as well, just so if you guys want to just read up on some things, so you know that I'm not just like pulling supplements out the air like, oh yeah, take this one too. So yeah, so the L Arginine was another one that we added to his regimen when we were preparing for our IVF cycle. Another one that I didn't realize was so important was a B complex. So the B vitamins are obviously overall, they're just good for you and your energy and your health. But the B complex is also really good for male sperm quality as well. So this next one is Dear Antler, which is so random. And he actually found this one. I had never heard of Dear Antler supplements before, and he doesn't take these anymore, but he took these preparing for our IVF cycle, and even back in the day when we were preparing for some of our IUIs, he took these as well. So I'll put a link down below for you guys to read up a little bit more about that one. I'm not super familiar with the Dear Antler. All I know is that a lot of athletes take Dear Antler, and a lot of people take it because if you have like an injury or something, it helps to repair that injury quicker. And so in fertility, fertility, and as it relates to fertility, when you take it as a male and you have issues with your sperm quality, it helps to repair that sperm and make your quality better. So that's my understanding of it. As I said, I am not a medical professional, and I have done some research on it, but I'm not super familiar with it. And so, as I said, I will link it down below, so if you guys want to read up on it for your fellas, then I will put that information down there for you. Tim also took 300 milligrams of the DAA, D Aspartic Acid DAA, and DAA is actually supposed to increase sperm count, and so that's another reason why we added that into the regimen for our second IVF cycle. And so yeah, I mean, we read a lot of the male fertility columns and like articles and things, they all mention the DAA, and so I was like, hey, we're gonna throw that one in there too. And so the last one, as if that wasn't enough, so the last one that Tim took was the Pycnogenol. He took 200 milligrams of that. It's really supposed to help with the function and the quality of the sperm, and so that's another reason why I just added that to the mix. If you guys have any other supplements that you or your guy is taking in preparation for trying to conceive or for IVF, you can leave those down below in the comments, and I'm sure they will help others who are looking to learn more about supplements. And just like with anything, if it's something that you feel will help you, then you use it, and if you don't feel it will help you, then don't use it. Always talk to your doctor, especially if you're taking other things, and especially when you're doing IVF, because you want to make sure that nothing's going to be affecting your IVF cycle. So while I was doing my IVF stems, I did not take all of these supplements. These were simply just to prepare my body for the IVF and to help my egg quality as we went into the IVF cycle. So once I started doing my IVF cycle, I only took the basics. So I took prenatal vitamin, a vitamin E, and vitamin C. So that's really it. You just want to make sure, because you're spending so much money and you're doing so much work and spending a lot of time in your IVF cycle, you want to make sure you're not taking any supplements or any herbs that will negatively affect or react with the hormones in the IVF. So always check with your doctor to make sure the things that you are taking or the things that you have taken will be okay for you as you prepare for your IVF cycle. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. I'll be back next time with another video. Bye.